Today we're going to take a look at our new PN Speciality Cordless steel cure lamp. So this is a battery operated, so rechargeable lamp that you can use for all of your planet nails, both your UV and LED gels. So we'll start by showing you what comes in the box. Received your lamp unit with the removable base. You would receive your AC adapter as well as your user manual. Before you use your unit for the first time, it's really important to make sure that you read the user manual so that you're familiar with how to use it. Before you go in to use your unit for the first time, it's important to do a full charge. When charging your lamp, make sure that you only use the original adapter supplied with the units. If you were to use any adapter other than the one that was supplied with it, you will definitely damage the battery within the unit. So you just grab your adapter, you plug it in at the back, and you will find that the little battery indicator will start to flash and go up and down. That's an indication that the unit is being charged, and once that a function stops, once it becomes static like it is here now, that indicates that the battery is fully charged. So the charge time for this, if it's coming from flat or from about 15%, will take about 4 hours. And then you would get, if you switch it on at the back and leave it on, you should get a 6 to 8 hour runtime out of a charge, depending on which level you use it on. You will extend that gap if you're switching your unit off at the back in between the sessions where you're not using it, where you're not physically curing nails in the lamp. Once your unit's fully charged and you're ready to use it, you can unplug the cable from the back. And now we'll just go over all of the functions that this lamp has. This lamp comes with a foldable metal arm. This arm is solvent resistant, so easy to clean. Let's look at your essential controls. So as discussed earlier, this is where your AC adapter will go in to charge your unit. You have your on-off switch, which is an independent switch from the others. This will switch the unit on and off. If this is off, your unit will not work at all. You do need to switch it on for your unit to start up. The default setting would be 60 seconds, and the display will be towards the nail tech, so towards the back of the unit. At the back, you have push control buttons, so it's an actual depression push button. On the top, you will have the exact same buttons, but they will be touch buttons. Both of these settings are dual or multifunctional buttons, so they will be your time buttons as well as your switch buttons at the top. You have your 10-second timers, which is great for when you're flash curing your builder gels. You have your 30 seconds, your 60 seconds, which would be the one that you're mainly going to be using with your Planet Nail gels. And then we have the 90-second, which is an automatic low heat, which will mean that this button, when it's activated, will start off at about a 50% intensity and then gradually build up to 100% intensity at the 60 or the 59-second mark of that, ensuring that you're getting a full cure once the full 90 seconds has lapsed. So you have a nice large digital display on this showing your battery capacity. It has your timer countdown, and it'll also show you whether or not it's switched to normal standard. So standard mode, there's nothing in front of the counter. High power mode, there'll be a H in front of the countdown, and low power mode, there'll be an L in front of the countdown. When you switch the unit on, the default time setting for the unit will be 60 seconds. Infrared sensor on this unit defaulted at that stage to 60 seconds, which means the moment a hand goes into the lamp, the lights will come on and the timer will start to count down at that 60 seconds. Once the hand comes out, the light will switch off, or if you get to the point where the timer has lapsed completely, whilst the hand is still in the lamp, the light will switch off automatically. All of the buttons on the top as well as at the back as an automatic on-off for the button, independent of if the infrared sensor has been activated, which means that if you hit the 10 seconds, the light will switch on. If you hit it again, it'll switch it off. So they all have an automatic on-off by doing that. So that's really great for when you're doing swatches, or if your client's hand's in and you wanted to cure it for a little bit longer, you can just literally hit the timer again and the light will switch on. And so the same goes for the back buttons. So they're push buttons. So once you hit that, the light will switch on. Once you hit it again, the light will switch off. In addition to that, we have these additional functions that these buttons perform. The first one is the sound. So you'll notice that when I hit a button or when the hand goes in, lamp will make a sound. So not everybody likes that. So we have given you the option to actually switch the sound off. So how you do that is you push and hold the 10-second button for 1.5 seconds, and then you'll see it'll flash off. And now when you go in to pop the hand in, or when you push a button, you won't hear any sound on the unit anymore. To re-engage the sound or the beeping noise, you just push and hold for 1.5 and then it'll say on, and now the beeping will go on again. So if you wanted to change to the display direction of the screen, you just push and hold the 30 seconds, and then you'll see the display of the timer will change automatically. To disengage this, again, push and hold for 1.5 seconds, and then your display will default back to the nail text view. Now we do have, with this lamp, we have high power mode and low heat mode. High power mode is perfect for your highly pigmented colors, like your one coat blacks, one coat whites, one coat nudes. It just increases the UV output to 125% as opposed to the standard cure, which this one's on now, of 100%. So how you engage that is you hit the 60 second, hold it for 1.5 seconds, and then a H will appear in front of the lamp, and now the UV intensity of this lamp has gone to 125%. Obviously, high power mode uses more battery capacity, so your battery will be depleted faster if you use this setting the whole time. And the other thing you have to bear in mind is high power mode will also mean that you will be more likely to receive heat spikes when you are using it with your builder gels. So if you have it on this and the heat spikes are quite intense, it's because of that. We would recommend to use it on standard power mode or on low heat mode if heat spikes. To disengage your high power mode, you just simply hit the 60 second, hold it for 1.5, the H will disappear, which will indicate that this is back onto standard cure, which is 100% UV intensity. Low heat, so this button has two functions. So if you just use it on standard, just hit the 90 seconds. As mentioned before, it will be on the low heat setting, which will mean it'll start off at 50% UV intensity, gradually increasing that UV intensity. Once it hits the 60 second timer, it'll be at 100%, and then you'll be doing a full cure at 100% for 60 seconds, ensuring a proper cure. It does have the option to go low power mode, which you can activate by hitting the 90-second button for 1.5 seconds. Then an L will appear in front of the timer, which will indicate that the unit is in low power mode. So now this unit will put out 75% of the UV intensity on any of the buttons. So that goes the same with the high power mode. So you'll see that the L will be in front of it regardless of the time you select, which means that this will be at 75% UV intensity for all the buttons. We would only recommend to use this for the 10-second button if you're flash curing and you're concerned about heat spiking and you want to keep it at that flash cure time of 10 seconds. Whenever you're using low power mode, you have to follow it up with a standard cure. So disengage your low power mode, go in and perform a full cure at the recommended 100% UV intensity for the recommended amount of time. The majority of the time you will be using your unit like this with no H or L in the front of the timer. If you needed to, you could use high power mode for your highly pigmented colors. If you needed to and you wanted your 10-second flash cure option or your 30-second flash cure option to be low heat, you could use it on the low power mode with the L in front. Once your battery capacity gets down to 15%, battery capacity indicator will start flashing. At that point, it is extremely important to charge your unit if you needed to use it further. So plug it in, continue using it. You can use the unit whilst it is charging. We would recommend to keep that to an absolute minimal wherever possible, because using the lamp whilst it's on charge will affect the battery life eventually if you're continually doing that. So it's highly important to try and always keep your lamp above that 15%. So if you're using it during the day, pop it on charge overnight so that it's ready to go for your client the next day. So you don't have to use it whilst on charge, but you do have the option to do that if you need it to. Please just keep it to a minimum. Cleaning your unit, make sure that you're only using the one spray to clean either the outside or the inside of the unit. Anything that contains a solvent could potentially damage your LEDs or your touch buttons on top. So extremely important to only use the one to clean your unit. We'll have a quick look at the underside of your lamp. So if you turn it over, this is what the inside looks like. It comes with a metal mirror finish base, so remember to remove your plastic once you start using it. It's got the plastic covering on both sides. This base attaches to the unit via magnets, which can be found at the bottom of your unit. So that's how the base attaches. So the magnets hold it in place, ready to go. Features of the base plate is the fact that it is metal, so easy to clean. It has your finger ledge, so that's your depth indicator, making sure that your clients don't hit their nails at the back of your unit. And it has your little thumb and pinky divots. So whenever I have a new client, I say to them, please place your hand on the metal plate, slowly move it backwards until you feel the little finger ledge. That's where I need your hand to go in to ensure a proper cure. A feature of the inside of this lamp is we have gone with an inset LED globe, and that's to help prevent damage to the globe. So make sure that you never touch the LED globes whilst they're on or whilst they're still hot. So when you're cleaning the unit, make sure the unit is switched off and that the globes have completely cooled down before you clean the unit. Always make sure that you never look directly at the light whilst the light is on. Remember, the UV light that actually cures your gel is invisible to the naked eye, so you're not seeing the UV light, but it can be damaging to the eyes when you're looking directly at it. So never ever switch it on when it's upside down and you're looking at it. And lastly, whilst the unit can be used whilst plugged in, as mentioned before, we would recommend avoiding that as far as possible. In addition to that, we wouldn't recommend leaving your unit plugged in for prolonged periods of time, so days on end. Doing that will obviously affect the lifespan of the battery. So once it's fully charged, unplug it, switch it off when you're not using it. All of these things will help to preserve the battery and prolong the battery life.